goodness. And that's our cue. Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News. Thanks for joining us. I'm Craig Nolan.
Thank you very much. I'm Daniel Pineda.
And my name's Adele Kuo with my saucy hat.
I like your saucy hat.
There's the adjective right there, saucy.
Beret down there. Very, very nice. And this is indeed another installment of Don Hammond's Arlington Weekly News coming to you from our studios here at AIM, Arlington Independent Media, right here on Danville in Clarendon. So we've got some usual stuff lined up for you here tonight. News and Community Bulletin Board, and Miss Tam O'Shanter down there is here with another installment of
It's Easy Being Green.
What would we do if we didn't have that two-letter word of? Okay. CBB, as I mentioned, Denise is here looking at giving us her thoughts on You Can't Take It With You, our News for Seniors segment, and then a roll-in, our styrofoam mom, Miriam Gennari, and her guest. That's our show, but before we begin, social media reminders.
Yes, and I'm really looking forward to that Miriam piece. Well, you can watch the Arlington Weekly News, Craig, on our very own YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1, same as always. And also on facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News, and also on the radio.
On the radio, WERA 96.7 LPFM.
Get it
Check us
right.
out. We're in your ear. Indeed we are. Here we go now. First of our news items. Well, a group of citizen bystanders participated in the apprehension of a suspect in an attempt to eat and run, in quotes, at a restaurant in Clarendon. The incident occurred on the evening of March 5th when a man attempted to leave without paying his bill. The man reportedly struck an employee in the face before fleeing on foot, but several bystanders stopped him and held him until police arrived. 28-year-old Arlington resident John Strittmatter has been charged with malicious wounding and defrauding an innkeeper. Malicious wounding is a punishable offense by 5 to 20 years in prison and a fine of up to $100,000. Don't do that. Daniel.
And Craig, now for our next story tonight. A newly revised infrastructure plan is set to cut some proposed bike trails. Some of the 26 projects in the original plan have been eliminated altogether, including an Arlington Hall Trail in Alcova Heights and a connecting trail from the Glen Carlin to Forest Hills. The cuts were largely a response to complaints from neighbors and environmentalists. Some property owners decried a reduction in privacy, while other residents were concerned about the tree cutting that the original plan required. However, bike advocates were generally satisfied with the compromises and expressed broad support for the plan. And
Daniel, also in our news items, well, the proposed upcoming budget from County Manager Mark Schwartz, includes a tax increase and apparently a pay raise for himself, the county manager, and some other high-ranking county employees, but it also cuts funding for Arlington arts programs and eliminates some art-related positions. We'll have additional commentary on this next week, but for now, concerned citizens can get more information at this website, should be on your screen there, https://embracing-arts.org. Daniel.
And Craig, here's some sad news for tonight. Our observation of St. Patrick's Day would normally include a bit of anarchy from our very own Amy Sue Huey, who has been entertaining our cast, crew, and viewers for many years. Miss Huey was originally brought in by Don Hammond, our original producer, and has since been given an open invitation, of course, to bring her special brand of mayhem whenever she, desired. But sadly, she has been suffering from a number of health issues and has been, unfortunately, had to miss out on Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, and probably Easter, unfortunately. And she hopes to return later in the year. Meanwhile, we extend to her our best wishes for recovery. Get well soon, Amy Sue.
You bet. We miss you. Feel better and get well soon and come back and join us here, Amy. We miss you. All right, we'll be back with CBB, as I mentioned, right after we hear from Adele Kuo in another installment of
It's Easy Being Green.
Almost a song coming
With a
there,
saucy
almost a
hat.
song coming.
That's right. Don't forget, it's
With that
Hat Day.
Tamil Shenter.
Forgot to send out the memo, though.
I like it.
Welcome back, everyone, to another It's Easy Being Green. I got the whole crew here, Joe Tree Frog and friends, here to announce that it's National Frog Day coming up soon. But today we want to reveal the beloved, very popular Virginia Native Plant Society Wildflower of the Year for 2019. Drum roll, everyone, is the Ceonanthus americanus. Yes, I had to practice that one.
That was a hard one.
The common name is New Jersey tea. It is native to Virginia and occurs on the prairies and the blackland prairies, savannas, limestone glades, and open upland woods. Clearings, wood edges are shores and barrens and can be found throughout the Commonwealth. Clusters of tiny, white, rounded flower panicles with the most pleasing fragrance adorns the plant in late spring from May to June. Pollinators flock to the white blooms. Bees and wasps, flies and beetles, hair-streaked butterflies and other pollinators seek its nectar and pollen from the flowers. The foliage serves as a larval host for several butterfly species, notably our spring azures, our summer azures, and mottled dusky wings. New Jersey tea is attractive to hummingbirds, which eat the tiny insects that pollinate the flowers. Mammals such as elk, deer, rabbits, and cattle, plus our wild turkey and bobwhite quail also graze the plants. So you must protect our young plants when they are very immature and to get them established because the browsers love it to death. This buckthorn family member is one of the few non-legumes that can fix nitrogen. This gives the plant an edge, especially in a disturbed site. The dry leaves were used as a flavorful tea substitute in the American Revolutionary War, hence the common name. However, the leaves do not contain any caffeine. The Native Americans used preparations of the root bark for medicinal purposes, a practice that still continues today. The alkaloids from the root have been demonstrated to exert a mild effect in lowering blood pressure. New Jersey tea is a versatile dye plant. It yields green dye from the flowers, red dye from the roots, and cinnamon-colored dye from the whole plants. Flowers are rich in saponins and will form a gentle lather when crushed and mixed with water. So here's a shrub that's perfectly sized for our smaller residential gardens. Our native wildflower of the year should be used more often in our gardens and landscapes. It is described as a low-growing shrub that averages 3 foot tall with an equal 3-foot spread. It is compact and dense with a beautiful rounded shape. Since it is low-growing, you can use it effectively as a shrubby ground cover for those hard-to-grow areas such as the dry, rocky slopes and banks. The thick, woody red taproots can go really deep and help the plants withstand the drought conditions. But once established, it is difficult to transplant. These plants thrive in sunny sites and average to dry soil. So best in sandy loams or rocky soils with good drainage. So remember, it's easy being green, honoring the Virginia Native Plant Society Wildflower of the Year, our New Jersey tea.
New Jersey tea. I like it's so regal. Ceonanthus americanus.
Oh, someone else has been practicing some Latin
You might have said it
names.
better than
It's
you
so
did.
regal, isn't
I
it?
think that is way better.
Ceonanthus americanus.
All you need is the saucy hat and you can do It's Easy Being Green.
It's the hat. It's the
That's
hat.
right.
Who knew there was a New Jersey tea? Ever heard of Long
Exactly.
Island tea, but not New Jersey tea.
New Jersey tea.
And it has those
beautiful plant.
tannins. It sounds like a really nice little plant. All right, appreciate it. Thanks,
Thank you,
Adele.
Adele.
We enjoy your EBG scripts as always. Here
Yeah,
we go
use
now.
it in place.
Say again.
Use it in place
Oh,
of spirea. That
okay.
is a good plant to use.
We'll do
What
that.
she said.
Here we go, as promised now. CBB, moving right along, our CBB file. It is time again for Real Page Turners, Arlington's movie-themed book club. This time they'll be exploring The Color Purple by Alice Walker. And here's how the system works. At the first meeting, there'll be a discussion of the book itself, and then that will take place coming up on Wednesday, March 20th from 1:30 to 2:30 at Lee Community Center, 5722 Lee Highway. And then the next meeting will feature a showing of the movie, and that will be held in the following week. That's coming up Wednesday, March 27 from 1 to 3:30 in the afternoon at Westover Branch Library, 1644 North McKinley Road in Suite 3. Next up, Daniel.
Well, Craig, talking about tea, this next story is for you. Catherine Ray of the District of Columbia League of Women Voters is inviting you to join her for an afternoon of tea and history. She'll retrace the history of the fight for women's voting rights in the United States. It will be a colorful presentation posing questions like, were they radicals, reformers, or racists? That's coming up on Wednesday, March the 20th from 2 to 4 p.m. That's at the Quincy Room of the Arlington Central Library, located at 1015 North Quincy Street.
All right, this next CBB item, there's a group called Families Unplugged, and they're holding another of their family-friendly events. This one is recommended for children ages 3 and older. It's all about creating fanciful animals in the style of author Eric Carle, author of The Very Hungry Caterpillar and other books for children. This is coming up on Saturday, March 23rd from 10 till 12 noon at Arlington Mill Community and Senior Center, 909 South Dinwiddie. Admission for Arlington residents is $8 per person, so you need to take a little cash with you for that one. Daniel.
Well, Craig, Bill Dewey Lee is an Arlingtonian who waited until he was 70 before he took his first cruise, but he's back to share his experiences. His presentation will include his photos along with the observations of the pros and cons of cruising. You're cruising, baby. And if you have some travel experiences of your own to share, you can join up and become a presenter, well, yourself. It all takes place on Monday, March the 25th from 10 to 11 a.m. at Walter Reed Community and Senior Center and Park, located at 2909 16th Street South. Are you cruising?
Cruising, dude.
Cruising along.
Cruising along. All right, that's it. We'll be back. News for Seniors coming up. Don't go away right after we hear from Denise and her thoughts on You Can't Take It With You. Here's Denise.
In a boy meets girl story, we expect to see some ups and downs in the early stages of their relationship. But You Can't Take It With You at the Little Theater of Alexandria delivers a boy meets girl story with the most eccentric family on record. It is a show of nonstop energy and silliness. The play was written by Moss Hart and George S. Kaufman, premiered on Broadway in 1936, won the 1937 Pulitzer Prize for Drama. It inspired a 1938 film directed by Frank Capra, starring Lionel Barrymore and James Stewart. The play is still frequently performed. Martin Vanderhoff, the grandpa, keeps snakes and has never paid income tax. His daughter Penny was a painter until she discovered a passion for writing bad plays. Not a talent, but a passion. Her husband and a friend of his build fireworks in the basement. One of their daughters wants to be a ballerina, and her husband plays the xylophone and sells the candies she makes. Those are only family members. There are several friends who add to the foolish mishaps. And then there is the other daughter, Alice Sycamore, who has an office job and has fallen in love with the boss's son, Tony Kirby, but fears their future is doomed due to the striking differences in their families. His parents are successful, straight-laced, and snobby. Despite her doubts, Alice has invited the Kirbys to her home to meet her family. She intends to hide the snakes, do a thorough cleanup, and implore them all to be on their best behavior. Tony decides to come a day early. His plan is to find them all in their usual kooky roles and assumes his parents will find them as refreshing and honest as he does. Alice's fears prove to be more realistic than Tony's high-minded hopes. Stephen Jarrett directs this madcap story. Bernard Engel, as the grandpa, grounds this cast just as his flaky character grounds his even more offbeat family. Amy Leverton as Alice and Matt Tucker as Tony Kirby navigate their way through this whirlwind to a happy ending. You Can't Take It With You plays through March 16th at the Little Theater of Alexandria. It is a bit dated, but still yields some pearls of wisdom, like the sage advice to enjoy life as it unfolds. I'm Denise Pringle. Now back to the news desk.
You were ready to go last night. Oh, there she goes, and one more time, Denise. And her thoughts on You Can't Take It With You. Thanks, Denise. We appreciate it as always. Here we go, as promised.
She's
now.
cruising.
Looking, she's cruising. Promised now our News for Seniors segment. News for Seniors glasses, I remember they're on my nose tonight. Well, elder law attorney Ed Zetlin will be meeting with seniors to discuss various estate planning options. Discussion will highlight the difference between a revocable trust and an irrevocable trust. The program takes place on Wednesday, March 20, from 1 to 2 in the afternoon at Langston Brown Community and Senior Center at 2121 North Culpeper Street. For more information and to register, give them a call at the number on your screen and in your ear now, 703-228-6300. Daniel.
Yeah. Well, here's something for people who are new to Medicare or just want to know more about Medicaid benefits. A certified Medicare counselor will provide an in-depth presentation about Medicare coverage and plan choices. That all takes place on Wednesday, March the 20th at 2 p.m. at the Human Services Center. That is located at 2100 Washington Boulevard. Space is limited, so register early by giving them a call at 703-228-1700.
And Daniel, also in our News for Seniors file, well, free, FREE, free blood pressure screenings are provided by retired registered nurses, and they will be offered at 2 locations. The first session will be held Thursday, March 21, from 10 to 11 a.m. at Walter Reed Senior Center, located at 2909 South 16th Street. And the next session coming up on Thursday, March 21st, from 11 till noon at Arlington Mill Senior Center, located also at 909 South Dinwiddie. Sessions are first come, first served, so get there early. Daniel.
Really take advantage of those. I mean, those are free,
Important.
and your health is super important.
Especially your blood pressure.
Yeah, your blood pressure, absolutely.
Especially blood pressure.
Well, March is National Nutrition Month, and all of Arlington's senior centers have various programs focusing on wellness and nutrition. For example, Aurora Hills has a program called What the Heck Should I Eat? About diet choices. A program at Walter Reed is focusing, well, on the benefits of red cabbage. Arlington Mill is offering a look at whole grains. Langston Brown's program will be talking about diabetes nutrition, and the Lee Center is tackling weight control. Check with your local senior center for dates and times. All programs are free. And as always, correct, we want to thank our own Judy Masomny for helping us this week with the senior story. She always does a great job. Thank you so much, Judy. We know you're
Thanks,
cruising.
Judy. We appreciate it. All right, we'll be back with sign off and bye-bye right after we hear from our styrofoam mom. Here's Miriam.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Sustainable Scoop. My guest this week is Hank Dearden. He started a 501c corporation to protect our planet's forests and plant new trees. He focuses on large-scale projects, but the cost per tree is really low, so that's great. Welcome, Hank.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate being here.
Well, trees are a major issue in our area. In fact, I just listened to a report that Amazon has trees as part of their sustainability package, but you're not talking about local issues with trees. You're talking about world issues.
Yes, ma'am. As I say, trees planted anywhere help everyone everywhere. Our particular focus is on global scale reforestation, specifically aimed at revitalizing local economies, in fact. So we work with programs that are already up and running in areas that desperately need the additional trees to revitalize the soil, the local habitats, and also supply gainful employment and jobs for people and bring them off the edge of desperation.
And I
with these
love the
girls.
name of your organization, Forest Planet. What a nice idea. How
Thank
did you come up with that?
Well, I just wanted to come up with something that could grow because I'm starting actually, and we'll get to it, is in Madagascar in Africa. I want to go around the world. So eventually I can say the sun never sets on Forest Planet.
Oh, wow, that's a wonderful thought.
We'll see.
And you actually brought some pictures of some of the work that you've done, because these are big projects. Can you tell us about what you brought for us today?
Absolutely. So this is work that I actually support. So I think the first shots are in Madagascar. Those are mangrove trees. If you're not familiar with them, they're tidal. They're right on the shore. They perform a very critical role in both stabilizing the shore, sequestering almost 2 or 3 times as much carbon as an Amazon or a rainforest tree, but also securing the shore and providing a safe haven, if you will, for many, many species at the absolute bottom of the marine food chain that are basically born within their root system in the protected areas.
Right.
So when you take out mangroves in Madagascar, just for example, one country, they got rid of they cut down about 11 billion with a B mangrove trees over the last 50 years. When that happens, there's nothing there to hold the sediment for when the tides come in and out. So that sediment will wash out and choke coral. It's a downward spiral. It goes out of control pretty quickly.
And it's not something that you can fix easily.
Actually, I'm going to challenge that. That's the whole point. You can fix it easily and quickly and cheaply, and that's the good news.
Really?
Yes. So if you do it right, and the programs that I'm working with and supporting have been up and running for years, they're planting 15, 20 million mangrove trees a year.
Well, that's a lot of trees.
It's great, but they cut down 11 billion, so we've got our work cut out for us, and that's just in one country.
Gotcha.
But you can put them back pretty quickly. You employ people. It's very labor intensive, and if you do it right, you can have a survival rate that's greater than 100%.
It's remarkable, the transformation.
The transformation can take place on the order of 4 years. Even after about a year or so, the fish come back, the crabs, the shrimp, other things that the population can take advantage of. So the program really needs to be an economic thing where the people have a guaranteed income. It doesn't matter. No one's making a lot of money here, but have a guaranteed income. And now they have food security too. And once you have that, you stabilize the community and people ease off the edge of desperation. And when Gari Matai said, she was the Nobel Peace Prize winner from Africa who planted millions of trees in her lifetime, I said, the biggest stress on the land is the stress of human desperation.
And we've done a lot of short-term stupid things around this planet. And one of the things that you're doing to kind of bring awareness about that is you're sponsoring a documentary showing at Busboys and Poets on April 3rd. And it's an interesting name, Normal is Over.
Yeah, this is a great movie. I'm just sponsoring the screening.
Well, let's do this.
Sure.
Let's take a quick second and take a look at the trailer.
It's not just about environmental behaviour, and it's not just about control or power, it's about the whole system.
Many of the most powerful traditions and goals in the world today revolve around the processes of growth. Economic growth.
The time to act is now. Is now.
We have the sense that normal is over.
Wow, that really pulls at your heartstrings. It really makes you think a lot about what you were saying about not letting people get to the point of desperation.
Yes.
Now, these sound like huge projects, okay, though doable, but they're not doable without some support. So how does your business model work? How do you here in our area plant trees in Madagascar?
501c3, certainly individuals can donate to us, and they have, and we thank them very much. We've got even our first foundation grant. Thank you to the Palmer Foundation that sort of help us out.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you. But our focus is actually working with businesses who want to differentiate their brand effectively in a manner that's easily communicated and affordably. Because really, the price, if you will, is 10 cents a tree.
Oh, that's great.
So a $100 donation is 1,000 trees, and that's 1,000 of those little seedlings you saw in the previous still. For example, there's a local printer in Washington, D.C. area called EcoPrint, and they did this for the Environmental Film Festival.
I
that's
want
upcoming.
it. I
You can
want
have it.
it.
That's
Really?
hot off the presses.
Oh, thank you so
That's
much.
the schedule, and they plant 2 trees for every print job. With thank you, EcoPrint, they planted over 10,000 trees with us.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Just by printing.
Oh, I'm so glad Environmental Film Festival is using them.
I am
EcoPrint.
too, yes.
Okay, I'm going to make sure that I give them business, but I'm keeping this. What else you got?
So there's a great company called Swarm Bustin' Honey from southeastern Pennsylvania, and they make awesome honey. They have their own organic apiary. They plant 1 tree for every online order. They're at 911honey.com. And actually at checkout, the buyer is allowed to say, I want to plant a tree with that. So it's like a little, do you want fries with that? Do you want to plant a tree with that at checkout? So it's all integrated there. And what we're seeing is that about 20% of the people actually said, yeah, I'll plant a tree with my order.
It's a side order of sustainability.
It's a side order. It's the easiest thing in the world. That's exactly it. You sort of slide it right in because, again, at a dime, it's pretty painless.
I love it.
So
that's wonderful.
That's 911honey.com, and that is for you.
Can't wait to try
It
it.
is awesome stuff.
Thank you.
Locally here in DC, believe it or not, there is such a thing called an American Ultimate Disc League. This is professional ultimate frisbee.
Oh, cool.
And there are 22 teams around the country and into Canada. But the professional team, the DC Breeze, they play at Catholic University. Their season's just coming up. They plant a tree for every ticket they sell all season.
This is fantastic, but I really think it's fantastic what you're doing with Forest Planet. And I think it would be great if people come to your event on April 3rd at Busboys and Poets in DC. And how do people get in touch with you? If their business wants to support you, or they as individuals would like to see more trees planted?
Sure, so it's forestplanet.org, www.forestplanet.org, or actually even also on Facebook, it's facebook.com/Go Negative.
And viewers, I want to thank you again for watching this edition of The Sustainable Scoop. I'm Miriam Gennari here with Hank Dearden of forestplanet.org. Check him out, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Miriam
Gennari,
got the hat
our
memo.
styrofoam mom, and another installment of the Sustainable
hat,
Scoop.
hat
Everybody gets a
memo.
hat. Where's my hat? I don't want a hat. That sounds good. Forest Planet?
Yeah.
That's
Forest
right.
Planet, remember it. Coming up on April 3rd.
April the 3rd.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Well, I don't need these. We got to wrap up and get out of here. Anything else to add, folks, before we
It's
go?
a Wayne a Rooney.
It's a Rooney.
St. Patrick's Day coming up.
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
An early happy St. Patrick's Day coming up here in a couple of days.
Frog
I forgot
Day.
my
And
little.
don't forget to celebrate our frog.
National Frog
Wednesday.
Day is
Next
next Wednesday.
Yeah.
So we may have a special friend for Kermit down there.
Oh.
For Joe.
For that big pool party.
For the
Joe
big
Tree
vernal-
Frog.
He could be the lifeguard at the vernal pool party. Excellent.
What happens in the pool party
It
stays
stays
there.
in the pool party. All right, very good. We better get out of here before we get into too much trouble. Thanks to all of you for watching and listening out there. If you're there next week, we'll be here and we'll try it all again. Happy St. Patty's Day. Have a safe week. Bye-bye.